All right, guys, today we're going to work on the linear relationships power focus area. So I'm going to start off with some vocabulary that's going to really help you on the focus area. The first one is a proportional relationship. A proportional relationship is a relationship that increases or decreases by the same amount each time. To be considered proportional, it has to start at 0 or go through the point 0, 0. Now, linear relation can be a form of a proportional relationship. However, it does not always start at 0. Linear relationships increase and decrease by the same amount each time. And just in case you're wondering, on a graph, they form a straight line. All right, so let's talk about slope. The slope is the rate of change in a linear relationship. Okay, and we have a couple formulas for slope that I want you to remember. So remember that m is equal to the change in y over the change in x, or rise over run, and it equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? You'll want to make sure you have that formula written down. The y-intercept is the point where a line crosses the y-axis. We often refer to it as the b in the linear equation, or the starting point. The slope-intercept form is a way to represent a linear equation, and it is the equation format that we always use, and I'm going to write that equation down. It's going to be y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is your y-intercept. Okay, pause it if you need to. I'm going to continue on to the practice problems. You need to pause, hit pause now. All right, so at this point, you've made sure you have all the equations and definitions written, so I'm going to scroll down to the first two practice problems. The first one says a bike rental company charges on the distance you travel. Their rates are represented in the graph, where y is the cost and x is the miles. Where is the slope? So to find the slope, we have to find the rate of change, or the change in y over the change in x. So to do that, I'm just going to count. Okay, I'm going to start here at this point, which is clearly based off this being 2, 1, 1. And I'm going to go up and over. Based off of this, this is 1, 1/2. You can see that this is 1 right here. Okay, based off of it, each of these are a half. So 1/2 plus 1/2 is up 1. So my rise is 1. And my run is 1/2. So it's 1 over 0.5. Okay, or I could have started from the bottom and I could have gone all the way to the step here, which is 2, 1. So then in that case, my rise is up 2 and my run is 1, which is 2 over 1. Either way is the same because 1 divided by 0.5 is 2 and 2 divided by 1 is 2. So my slope for this equation is 2. And I found that by finding my rise, which is my change in y, over my run, which is my change in x. Moving on to the next question. Gerard earns $12 or Jared earns $12 an hour at his job. The table shows what Dale earns each of his job. What is the slope for each equation and what do they mean? Okay, so Jared's slope is going to be $12 because he earns 12 an hour. So his equation is going to be y equals 12 times x. Let's find out what Dale's is. Remember that to find it's going to be the change in y over the change in x, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to label this, and I'm going to make this x1, this x2, this y1, this y2. So I'm going to do 60 minus 30 all over 4 minus 2. 60 minus 30 is 30. 4 minus 2 is 2. 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that means Dale's slope is 15. Okay, so our slopes for this are going to be 12 and 15. And then what does it mean? Well, that's how much an hour they make. So to answer the question, I'm going to say slopes are 12 and 15. They represent the amount earned an hour. All right, so let's move on to the next question. The next question says the slope of the line is represented by the equation 3x plus 2y equals 6. Or what is the slope of the line represented by the equation 3x plus 2y equals 6? Well, first thing I have to do is this is in standard form, and I need it in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to convert it over. So I'm going to do 3x plus 2y equals 6. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So I need y by itself to get it into slope-intercept form to find my slope. So I'm going to circle the center of my equation, which is equal sign, and I'm looking to get y by itself. So first I'm going to get rid of the 3x by subtracting 3x from both sides. Okay? It's going to cross out. Now I have to get rid of the 2. In order to do that, I need to divide by 2 on both sides. So then I have y equals 6 divided by 2 is 3 minus 3 halves x. So now my slope is whatever's next to the x because that's where the m is, and m represents slope. So slope for my line is negative 3 halves. All right, my second one says write the equation on the graph. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit in this to help me be able to better write my equation here. Zoom in, scroll down. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do to fit it into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, is I'm going to find my y-intercept, which is my b. My y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis here, which is right here at negative 4. So I can plug in negative 4 here for it. So now I need to find my slope. My slope I find by counting rise over run. So I'm going to go from negative 4 here to regular 4. That's going to be up 4 and over 4. Okay? So rise over run is up 4 over 4. Well, 4 divided by 4 can be simplified to just plain 1. So I'm going to plug in 1 for my slope. So I have y equals 1x minus 4. I can now simplify that. 1 times x is just x, so y equals x minus 4. All right, now that I've solved that one, I'm going to move on to my last two here. And it says the cost of the parking lot of y, the cost y of the parking lot of parking a car in a parking lot, and where the x is the number of hours a car is parked, can be represented by the equation y equals 3x plus 2. What does the 2 tell you about the cost of parking? Well, if this is the total cost here I spend, and x is my hours, 3 must be my amount per hour. So that means 2 is my starting point, which means 2 is the amount it costs just to park or get in. Initially costs. Okay, moving on to my last one. A county fair charges $5 for tickets and $2 for each ride. What is the slope in this scenario where y is the total cost and x represents the number of rides ridden? Okay, so if $5 is the ticket I have to pay to get in, that's going to be my initial amount. So that's my B. Then $2 for each. The 2 for each tells me that that's going to be my slope. So my slope, or m, is 2. So to write my equation, I'm going to do y equals, okay, total cost equals $2 times x, which is the number of rides that I do, plus the $5 it costs me to get in. So there's my equation, y equals 2x plus 5. All right, at this point you should have completed all the practice problems with us. Go ahead and take the content assessment. Remember to use this video and these notes to help you pass the content assessment. Have a good day, guys.